The ultrasound photo rested on the white tablecloth. In neat handwriting it read, Miki, 14 weeks.
It's mine, and we've decided. The company needs a new direction. Someone less rigid.
You are brilliant, Kazu, but the board thinks your approach is too inflexible. It's time for a fresh vision.
So this is it. The pregnancy. The push. They planned this dinner to humiliate me.
We'll make it easy. A generous severance. You just walk away, no hard feelings. Family first, right?
I see. That's a lot to take in. Let me think about it.
He didn't rage. He didn't break. He smiled, picked up his fork, and finished his dinner. But behind his smile, a legal clause was already ticking. A poison pill he had written into the partnership agreement years ago.
Termination without cause. You'll have to fire me. And when you do, the buyout will gut the company.
He would leave, but not the way they wanted. The real game was just starting. The next morning, Kazu walked into Sato's law office. The air was thick with old paper and quiet strategy.
You are in trouble, Kazu. Your brother and ex-fiancée are making a move. What's your play?
I need to know if the poison pill clause can be triggered by their own hand. Force a termination without cause.
Termination. Without cause. Mandatory buyout. At 3 times revenue multiple. They'd have to empty the company to pay me.
This is a nuclear option, Kazu. If they fire you for no reason, it'll bankrupt them, but you'll have to make them do it.
How? I am the diligent marketing director. They need an excuse. I have to become a liability.
Leak something. Stage a scene. Become so unbearable they can't keep you. Just make sure it's without cause.
Leak memos. Start a public fight. I can do that. Every misstep will be a step toward the trigger.
Kazu left the office with a cold smile. The plan was set. He'd dismantle the company from within, using their own greed as the fuse. In his hand, the partnership agreement. The weapon he'd crafted years ago, now pointed at the man who shared his last name. Back at the startup, the office hummed with routine. Kazu sat at his desk, a quiet storm brewing behind his eyes.
First move. Leak the Q3 projections. Plant the seed of chaos.
He attached the confidential file and hit send. The email disappeared into the digital void, headed straight for the press.
This is nuclear. Front page material. They won't know what hit them.
By noon, the leaked memo spread like wildfire. Every phone in the office buzzed with the headline, "Startup leak, sparks, investor panic." Employees huddled in clusters, whispering. The air turned thick with blame.
Who leaked the Q3 projections? This makes us look unstable. The investors are already calling.
It has to be Kazu. He's been too quiet since the dinner. He's up to something.
Yes. Let the suspicion flow. Every accusation brings you closer to firing me.
Ryota and Miki exchanged a look, fury and fear. They needed to control the damage, and Kazu was the spark they could no longer ignore. The next morning, Kazu entered the lobby with purpose. He spotted a junior analyst and raised his voice.
You call this a marketing report? It's garbage. I've seen interns deliver better work than this.
The analyst shrank back. The lobby fell silent, then erupted in murmurs. Dozens of employees pulled out their phones.
Maybe you should ask Ryota for advice. He's an expert at taking what doesn't belong to him.
The loaded accusation sent a shockwave. Every phone now streamed the scene. Kazu's performance was flawless.
Have you seen this? He's screaming at staff in the lobby, dragging my name through the mud.
Perfect. He's unhinged, and we have 100 witnesses. This is the excuse we needed.
Call an emergency board meeting. We'll terminate him tomorrow. No severance. He's done.
They'll bite now. A public meltdown is the perfect pretext. Terminate without cause, just as I need.
The board meeting was set for 9 a.m. sharp. Kazu's termination was now a certainty, exactly as he had scripted. At 9 a.m. sharp, the boardroom fell silent. Ryota sat at the head of the long table, Mickey by his side, her hands resting on a manila envelope.
Kazu, after your recent conduct and the damage to our reputation, the board has decided to terminate your employment, effective immediately.
We're terminating you without cause. You'll have no severance, but you can collect unemployment, a small gesture.
Without cause. Exactly the legal loophole. They signed their own death warrant. I see. No hard feelings. May I take a look at the papers?
Don't bother reading them. It's all standard boilerplate. Just sign so we can move on.
He scanned the document, his eyes flicking over the critical line. Then he set it down unsigned. A cold smile played on his lips.
Thank you for everything. I'll be taking my leave now.
He walked out without a backward glance, leaving the boardroom in stunned silence. Outside, the sun hit his face like a vindication. The termination was complete. Now, the real detonation could begin. Kazu left the building and immediately dialed his lawyer. The call connected on the second ring.
Sato. It's done. They fired me without cause. Activate the clause immediately.
Understood. The mandatory buyout letter will be delivered within the hour. Prepare for the storm.
The next morning, Ryota's screen flashed red. The company's operating fund had been legally frozen.
Kazu, you traitor. The buyout clause, you can't do this. The company's bleeding out.
You fired me without cause, Ryota. The partnership agreement was explicit. You should have read it more carefully.
We'll fight this. We'll sue. You'll regret this.
I am sure you'll try. But the clause is ironclad. Sato will handle the legalities. Enjoy the liquidity crisis.
The buyout amount was astronomical. 3 times annual revenue. The startup's accounts drained by the hour. The company they'd built together became a sinking ship. Kazu had drilled the final hole, and water was rushing in. In a quiet coffee shop, Kazu stared out the rain-streaked window. The chaos at the startup felt like a distant storm.
They destroyed everything, but I pulled the trigger. Now what? Just move on?
His phone buzzed. An unknown number. He answered, and a calm voice made an offer that shifted his entire horizon.
Marketing director. You are offering me the top role even after all the news about the startup. They know everything. And they still want me. This could be the fresh start I need. I am in. When do I start? I'll be there.
The CEO's reply was immediate. Monday, 8 a.m. We have a lot to discuss. The call ended with a click.
Monday. A new office, new rules, no baggage. I can leave the ashes behind.
He paid his bill and stepped into the rain. His old life was over. A rival's flag now flew ahead. He had no idea that behind that glass tower, a woman with a sharp tongue and sharper grin was already plotting their reunion. Kazu stood before the rival corp tower, its glass facade reflecting the morning sun. A new chapter. He strode through the lobby, past sleek security gates, toward the elevator marked executive floor. As he approached his new office, a figure leaned against the doorframe. A woman with a knowing grin.
So the revenge was just the prologue. Ready for the real story to start?
Akari. Of all people. Our clashes at every gala. She's the COO here, you. I didn't expect a welcoming committee. Especially not you.
What? You thought I'd miss the show? I've had a front row seat to your little revenge theater.
She knows too much. This job offer wasn't just about my resume.
Relax, Kazu. You'll find we're on the same side, at least for now.
He had walked into a new beginning, but the threads of his past were already rewoven by the woman grinning at his door. While Kazu started anew, the startup office descended into chaos. Ryota and Miki frantically worked the phones.
You are their top corporate lawyer. There must be a loophole in the buyout clause. Find it.
What do you mean it's airtight? We drafted it years ago. It can't be.
Their lawyer's answer was grim. Termination without cause was legally triggered. The buyout stood.
Then we have no choice. We need to discredit him. Fabricate evidence, embezzlement, fraud, anything.
Frame him. That's insane. If we get caught,
We won't get caught. We'll plant fake invoices, backdate emails. Once he's under investigation, the buyout freezes.
this is crossing every line. But if we don't, we lose everything. The house, the future.
In the dim office, a desperate plan took root. They began crafting a web of lies with Kazu as the target. The frame-up was set in motion, a poison trap hidden in plain sight, waiting for Kazu to step into. Monday, 8 a.m., Kazu stepped into the meeting room. Akari already had charts on the screen.
Your growth projections are reckless. The client base we just acquired won't absorb this.
Reckless or ambitious? This is why your old firm stalled. You played safe while your brother bled it dry.
She knows about the embezzlement. Not just the pregnancy, but the fraud. How deep does this go?
Your brother's side deals, they're an open secret. I've had analysts digging since you leaked those memos.
You were watching before I even got here. Why? What's your angle?
Let's just say I have a vested interest in seeing your old company burn. Now focus on the demographics slide.
They worked in tense silence, then found a solution simultaneously, pointing at the same data cluster. A grudging respect flickered. For a split second, their eyes met, not as rivals, but as allies in an undeclared war.
She's useful, but her endgame is unknown. Keep her close, but watch for the knife.
After a long day, Kazu walked toward his car. In the parking garage, he froze. Taro was sitting in Akari's car, handing her a folder.
Taro with her? That reporter I fed the memo to. He's working for Akari.
He waited until Taro stepped out, then grabbed the reporter's collar, pulling him into the shadows.
You've been working for Akari all along. She fed you the ultrasound photo, didn't she?
She said, "You deserve to know about your brother and Miki." I didn't realize it was a setup. I just passed along the tip.
So she planted the first domino. The dinner, the betrayal, my revenge, all of it was her design.
She said it was a dirty business, but you'd come out stronger. I never meant to hurt you, Kazu.
Kazu's hands dropped. The reporter fled into the night. Alone, he stared up at the tower where Akari's office light glowed.
She manipulated my anger into a weapon. Now she expects me to join her willingly.
High above, Akari watched the confrontation through her window, a faint smile curling her lips. The game was going exactly as planned. Minutes later, Kazu stormed into Akari's office, his footsteps echoing off the glass walls. She didn't flinch.
You planted the ultrasound photo. You used Taro to ignite my revenge. How far back does this go?
From the moment your brother started embezzling, I knew you'd need a push to see the truth. I gave you one.
You manipulated me into destroying my own company. And now you want me to thank you?
I want you to aim that fury at the real enemy. Ryota's been cooking the books for years. Help me expose him legally.
She turned her monitor, revealing a cascade of falsified invoices and secret accounts, Ryota's embezzlement, all laid bare.
This isn't just revenge, it's justice. With your legal clause and my evidence, we can put him in prison.
She's right. This isn't about my pride anymore. It's about exposing the fraud that hurts so many. And what do you get out of this? Rival Corp absorbing our assets. You've been playing the long game.
A perfectly legal acquisition, but also the best marketing director in the city. Sleep on it, Kazu.
At dawn, Kazu walked into the boardroom. Akari was already there, the embezzlement files glowing on the screen.
I'll work with you, but we do this my way. Fully legal. No more tricks.
That's all I ask. Together, we'll expose Ryota and his fraud.
They shook hands, a fragile alliance forged in mutual ambition. The die was cast. Meanwhile, in the crumbling startup, the frame-up was ready.
The fake invoices are backdated. Once these go to the press, Kazu will be too busy defending himself to enforce the buyout.
This is our last shot. Send it to that reporter, Taro. He'll run anything for a headline.
Ryota's finger hovered over the send button. Then he pressed it. The trap was sprung. Neither side knew the other had already launched their attack. The city's financial district hummed with impending collision.
They'll try to discredit me. But I've got Sato and Akari's evidence. Let them dig their own grave.
That night, a single text buzzed on Kazu's phone. "We need to talk. It's about the baby. A trap or a warning."
Taro, I know it's you. What's really going on?
His voice was ice. The reporter's quivering reply spit out everything. Fake invoices, a media leak, a frame-up already in motion.
They're not just bankrupting me. They're trying to put me in prison. No more chess. It's time to hit back.
Within the hour, Kazu and Akari were huddled over a conference table. She slid a USB drive across the polished wood.
My team's been tracking these shell companies for months. The paper trail leads straight to your brother.
These accounts, he's been siphoning funds since the merger. The embezzlement is even bigger than we thought.
It's ironclad. We leak this first, and their frame-up becomes a confession, ready to go nuclear.
Send it all to every news outlet. I want the world to see what family really means.
With a single click, the evidence spread like fire across the digital city. The frame-up had failed before it even began. By dawn, the story detonated across every major outlet. Startup CEO accused of multi-million embezzlement scheme.
This isn't possible. The fake invoices were supposed to send him to prison, not expose us.
Taro didn't run our story. He ran theirs. We're finished, Ryota. The board will throw us to the wolves.
Outside their office, a media swarm had already formed. Cameras and microphones lunged at the glass doors like hungry jaws. Social media exploded. Hashtags branding them frauds trended worldwide. The public execution had begun.
The frame-up. It's all traced back to us. My career, our reputation, it's over.
Watching from the rival corp boardroom, Kazu and Akari stood side by side, the city's skyline glowing behind them.
Your brother's digital footprint is a noose. The authorities will arrest him by noon.
Good. But the real punishment is yet to come. I want to see his face when he realizes I wasn't just a victim. I was the architect.
The frame-up had become a suicide note. All that remained was the final move. A boardroom justice that would seal the brothers' war forever. Kazu and Akari walked into the startup's boardroom. The directors sat frozen, the weight of scandal choking the air.
You wanted a fresh vision. Here it is. Ryota's hidden accounts, his falsified invoices, all the evidence.
The poison pill clause is binding. Termination without cause triggered a mandatory buyout. Your company is now rival corps.
This is a coup. I founded this company. I refuse to let it be stolen.
The board was silent. Then, one by one, hands rose. The vote was unanimous. Ryota was stripped of all authority.
You can't do this. The frame-up was my idea. He didn't know.
No one listened. Her confession was swallowed by the sound of the corporate guillotine falling. The buyout documents were signed. The poison pill clause, once a dormant threat, now legally dissolved the startup's independence. Akari handed Kazu the merger file. Across the top, the rival corp logo gleamed, a new flag over old ashes.
This was always bigger than revenge. Now the real rebuilding begins.
In the empty corridor outside the boardroom, Ryota blocked Kazu's path. His voice cracked.
Kazu, please. I am your brother. Don't let them take everything. I'll make it right. I swear.
Like you made it right when you slept with my fiancée and tried to push me out? You built this collapse.
From the shadows, Miki watched, one hand on her swollen belly. She was a ghost in a collapsing house.
I know I failed you, but this company was our father's dream. You are killing it.
No, you killed it the moment you chose ambition over family. Goodbye, Ryota.
Ryota collapsed against the wall, his sobs echoing off the marble. The falling king had no kingdom left.
We still have each other. We can start over somewhere else.
He shoved her hand away. For the first time, she was as alone as he had made Kazu feel.
This isn't victory. It's just the first step out of the wreckage.
Kazu stepped into the cold evening air. Miki was waiting by the revolving doors, her face tear-streaked but defiant.
You think you won? You destroyed everything. Our family, the baby's future, all for your pride.
I didn't destroy it. You two did the moment you chose betrayal over loyalty.
I loved you once. We could have been happy.
You loved what I provided. You loved my brother's ambition more. Goodbye, Miki.
Her composure shattered. She sank to the ground, clutching her stomach, sobbing as the city lights flickered around her. Kazu didn't look back. His footsteps echoed into the night, each one a nail in the coffin of a life he once dreamed.
No satisfaction, no guilt, just the quiet weight of a door finally closed.
Behind him, Miki's cries were swallowed by the wind. The chapter was over. Ahead, the lights of Rival Corp burned brighter than ever. A different war waited. In his quiet apartment, Kazu stared at his laptop. The morning news broadcast was already dissecting the scandal. Former CEO Ryota arrested on fraud charges. Police took him into custody outside the shuttered offices this morning.
So he's gone. Prison awaits. The brother who once dreamed with me now faces a cell.
An update flashed. Miki, former HR director and fiancée of co-founder, hospitalized. Doctors confirm miscarriage due to stress.
The baby. Lost. She blamed me, but the weight of her own deceit crushed it.
He set the phone face down. Outside, the Rival Corp tower stood unwavering, indifferent to the wreckage across town.
Victory feels like swallowing glass. Every shard a reminder of what was broken.
The startup's office remained dark, sealed by legal tape. A monument to ambition turned to ash.
I wanted justice. But justice doesn't undo betrayal. It only draws a line in the blood.
He had won. The claws, the leaks, the takeover, all executed perfectly. And yet the silence after the storm was deafening. At dawn, Kazu stood before the cold granite of his parents' grave. The city's noise felt worlds away.
Mom, Dad, I did what I had to, but I'm not sure you'd be proud of how it ended.
He traced their names with his finger, the stone cold under the overcast sky.
Ryota was your son, too. I wonder if I've become no better than him.
A cold wind swept through the cemetery, scattering dead leaves across the plot.
I wanted justice. I got revenge. There's a difference, and it feels like a wound.
His phone buzzed, shattering the silence. The screen lit up with Akari's name.
Akari? What is it?
Her voice was warm but firm. The board meeting starts in an hour. Are you coming? Or should I tell them you are still mourning ghosts?
She always knows how to pull me back. Maybe that's exactly what I need.
He climbed the final flight of stairs and stepped onto the rooftop. The sky was streaked with orange and pink.
Took you long enough. I was starting to think you'd stood me up.
I wouldn't miss a sunset with my favorite Ko-O, even if she did manipulate my entire life.
I prefer strategically guided, but all jokes aside, I've admired you since our first clash at the industry gala.
Admired. She never showed it. All those arguments were her scouting me? You had a funny way of showing it. You tore my presentation apart in front of 300 people.
And you countered with data I still reference. That's when I knew you'd be the perfect rival, and more.
The last rays of sunlight caught her glasses, and for a second, the mask of the corporate shark slipped.
So, what now? We've toppled an empire. You've got your acquisition. Where does that leave us?
Ready for the real story to start?
They walked back inside, the rooftop door clicking shut. The past finally loosened its grip.
Next presentation, I am leading. You can tear it apart afterward.
Deal. But only if you bring better data than last time.
Elsewhere, a jail cell clanged shut. A hospital monitor beeped in steady rhythm. But here, in the gleaming tower, a new alliance forged in fire and flirtation took its first real breath. Kazu's new office already bore a framed photo. Him and Akari at the gala, mid-argument, immortalized by a colleague's phone.
Back then, I never thought she'd be the one to pull me out of the wreckage.
Stop brooding. We have a market strategy to finalize by morning.
He smiled. The first genuine one in what felt like a lifetime. The rival corp logo blazed against the night sky. A beacon of new beginnings, and a story just starting.